The City of Launceston is built at the confluence of two rivers, the South Esk here behind me and the North Esk. And so the North Esk is the smaller catchment. The South Esk is actually 8.5 times bigger than the North Esk and also incorporates the Macquarie River, the Meander River and the Brumbies Lake catchment. So one of the really interesting things about the flooding here in Launceston itself is that because of the way the two different rivers function, we get a really big difference in flooding, and the estuarine processes also have an impact. So in the June 2016 flood, there were a multitude of different flood peaks. So the flood for the North Esk River came through, and then the tides went up and down, and then the flood from the South Esk River came through. And so the flood from the South Esk River was 2 days later than the flood from the North Esk River. And also because of the tidal influence here as well, we did have some properties that thought the flooding had gone and they cleaned themselves up, and then the tide comes back up again, and so then it floods all over again. So it's really interesting the way that the two rivers work with the tide here in the estuary to impact flooding. So the original levee system was built in the 1960s, and so that was to follow the big flood that we had in 1929 here in Launceston. The levee renewal program was finished in 2014, and then following the big flood that we had in Launceston in 2016, a decision was made to construct a separate section of levees in Newstead to provide protection there. So that was completed in 2018. Now we've got about 10 kilometres of levee, so we've got the combination of earth levees and concrete walls. So the June 2016 flood had a significant impact across all of northern Tasmania. Here in Launceston, the water was lapping at the bottom of our levees, and several properties, both businesses on the wet side of the levees, were impacted, as well as some residential properties in Newstead. So one of the projects that we completed here at the City of Launceston in 2019 was a revision of our river flood modelling. So the flood modelling was revised for a number of factors, including updates to modelling technology, computer updates, as well as being able to use the June 2016 flood as a verification event to see how good the model is. And we'd also done things like construct the Newstead flood levee, so that was a significant change in the floodplain topography, which influences the way that flooding happens. So we're working on a variety of projects at the moment to keep Launceston safe from flooding. So that includes making sure that our levees stay strong, and we also complete regular routine drills and inspections to make sure that everything is working as it should. We're also working with Launceston's residents that are in flood-prone areas to make sure that they're aware of their risk and actions that they can take to keep themselves safe. And the other big thing that we're working on at the moment is a review of land use planning in our levee protected areas to make sure that our planning principles are best practice.